Hello and welcome. We're back with another Working Not Wednesday stream. How's everybody doing today? Thank you so much for joining me. And that's right, we are doing a power hour on Not Wednesday. So this is our goal going forward, is to do 3 or 4 Wednesdays a month like we had been doing before. But also to do about every other Thursday. We've been having a lot of fun with these streams, and you guys seem to be enjoying them as well. So that seems like a win-win, and it helps us get way more stuff done for D&D. So that's the plan. If you're not familiar with the format of the show, we've got 30 minutes on the clock. Hopefully around that time, we take a 5-minute break. We come back, we put 30 minutes on the clock, and then we get out of here. So the goal is 60 minutes as a soft cap, hard cap at 90. We do occasionally go over that. But generally, we're targeting 60 to 90 minutes of focused work on a few topics that we set out ahead of time. Tim, thank you for making it by. Hey, okay, Wah, thank you so much for joining me. How are you? I appreciate you. None, great to see you, sir. Yeah, no race here, unfortunately. It would be fun, but I don't think it reads Twitch chat. Otherwise, I would be tempted. Lily, hello, hello, hello. As far as the intro goes, the other part there is, even if you're not working on D&D stuff, of course, you're welcome to join us anyway. You're welcome to chat, and a lot of people join us and body double and like do dishes or stuff like that. So if you're not working on D&D stuff or chatting, then I wish you well on whatever projects you'll be doing while we're doing this. Doing as well as you can be right now. She'll be working on some character stuff for the Merkmeyer. Excellent. Well, I'm a little curious about the hint at the beginning there, but obviously I won't press you on it while we're live. But I'm hoping you're well. And it's funny that you say that, because I actually need to do a quick Merkmeyer thing too.
YouTube stream is now live.
Thank you, Lumia. Could also have you guys watch me blow on some snow. It's true. It's true. I need to, this is still D&D related, it's just not for our games, it's for the game that we play in with the Mortal Woes, and Okewa is one of the players as well in the Merkmeyer. I need to message Spio, because when we first made my character, I somehow, I forget how, but have an extra language, and, at the time, it was just kind of one of those things like, we'll add that later, and then we never actually did. So in my skills for, Honores. No voice mod that time. It still just says language. I never actually sorted out what it was. It should drop common and make things interesting. Yes, right? I actually had a character that did that. Language. Somebody walks up to you and starts speaking to you in a language back that nobody understands. And they're like, I speak language. There we go. Message sent. Lily Amras is hopping on. He's interested in the info under my face. He says, I have peasants. So speaking of players, for those of you that don't know, Amras in chat is one of the players in our Kingdom of Rin campaign. And you don't yet, but it was one of the scenes that I wanted to get to that we didn't get to last session. So I guess teeny tiny spoiler, but it's like, it's not like a major story beat or anything like that. But I thought it would be kind of fun, kind of like how, I don't know if Canada did this, but in the US at least, as westward expansion was increasing, there was a deal, and I forget the name of it, but where like essentially if you moved yourself west and you cleared the land, then you were entitled to the land. And so I thought something like that would be kind of interesting on Allendites territory. And so they're going to potentially acquire a few peasants to come and help with the construction of the fort as general laborers, and then to be reimbursed for that with some land that they can then clear and work. How many of them will be somewhat up to some role play and some roles, but you love that. You're working on something important for next session as well. Sadly, can't say more than that. Yeah, no. I hear you. I have some thinking I'm doing for Honores too. Honores, I think, has some thoughts about recent events in the Murkmire. I don't know exactly what they are yet. I'm still kind of musing on that, but he has some thoughts. Stardust, you got accepted to social services and you essentially graduated therapy today. Hey, that's amazing. Congratulations, Stardust. Not peasants, acolytes. I mean, they could be that too. Also, those of you that are here, if you're enjoying the vibes, two things. If you would give the live stream a thumbs up. We are threatening. I meant to do this during the news portion. We have 17 new YouTube subs within the last 28-day period. But the first 6 days of that, there were 0. So if we manage to get 3 more new YouTube subs in the next week, we might break 20 for, I believe, the first time ever, which would be absolutely incredible. So thank you to everybody who's joined us recently. And thumbs up on the live stream is a good, easy way to help push it out to more people. The other thing is, don't forget to change your chat from top chat to live chat, because top chat's garbage. Yeah, thank you, Lily. In fact, I think 17 is probably already a record for us. But if it's not, I know for a fact we've never had 20 within a month before. So, all right. So reputation and peasantry. So the reason I worded that way, other than space was obviously somewhat limited, is I wanted to come up with something for over not just immediately, but over time. What does the process of people emigrating to Allendites land look like? And right, Lily? And we could homebrew something, and we might end up doing that. But 3.5, because there's a rule for just about everything in version 3.5 of D&D, has a system called reputation. So there are also some mechanics for acquiring followers. So we'll look into both of those, because obviously they're both highly related to what we're looking for. Now, one of the questions is where the heck either of those systems even are. Reputation, I feel like, is somewhere weird, like Player's Handbook 2 or something. Let me grab that first. Not where I thought it was. Oh, it's over here. It's not usually a book that I need at arm's reach. I'm surprised that that's where it was. Player's Handbook 2, very cool book. Huge expansion on the Player's Handbook type stuff. The guy who did that thing and threw the stuff. He smells funny, but the ogre smells worse. It's true. So let's see if we've got anything about reputation here. Retraining, rebuilding. I don't see it in here, so I might have to do a little Google foo to try and figure out what book I need for it. However, while I'm here, I did see there was where did that go? Under new feats in Player's Handbook 2, there are ceremony feats. What is a ceremony feat? We have a ceremony in our future. If you know, you know. A ceremony feat grants you the knowledge and training needed to complete several specific ceremonies. Each feat uses the knowledge religion skill to gauge the depth of your study. As you gain more ranks in that skill, the ceremonies available through the feat increase. The creature can benefit from one ceremony at a time. If you attempt a second ceremony on the same creature, the first ceremony's benefits immediately end and the second ceremony applies. Each ceremony has a cost in time and resources. The ceremony consumes the materials needed for it when it ends, not when the benefit ends. If the ceremony is disrupted, such as if an opponent attacks before you finish, the material components are not lost. Interesting. The 2 feats. Oh, there's literally only 2. Okay. The pig will bury the horse. So we have a ritual blessing. You call upon the powers of goodness and light to bless your allies. If your religious studies are advanced enough, the rituals that you learn allow you to ward against illness or poison, enhance your healing abilities, and protect against evil. What? That sounds super cool. Well, no, but I realize you're probably just on delay there, None. But yeah, the first one is literally ritual blessing. So I think they didn't. I think they didn't want the duplication. Yeah. So, prerequisites: good alignment, knowledge, religion, 4 ranks. That's not. I mean, you could have that at level 1. Benefit: you gain access to rituals based on your ranks and knowledge. Oh, so they like power up over time. Well, these are so cool. What the heck? I've never seen these before. Anoint. That's a word that I use fairly frequently in our game. You speak a blessing over the recipient of this ritual. Anoint him. Sorry. The sentence structure was weird. You speak a blessing over the recipient of this ritual, anoint him with holy water, and say a short prayer for him. When you cast a cure spell on the recipient, they heal an extra 2 points of damage. That's so cool. Performing this ritual requires 5 minutes of incantation and a vial of holy water. The effects last for 24 hours. Whew. Holy crap. Yeah, they are, Shalendor. Then at 8 ranks, which you could have at level 5, you would get Cleanse as part of the ritual blessing. You sprinkle holy water over the recipient of this ritual to speak a prayer and, wow, man, I suck today, and speak a prayer to his health and vigor. The target gains a +2 bonus on saves against disease and poison. Wow, these are really neat. Then we have Ward, which takes 13 ranks. You'd have to be level 10. Right, and I think that's why none. I think it was just so it wasn't ritual. The ward ritual is a ritual of warding, I suppose, is you use a special combination of powdered silver and holy water to create a mystical ward that offers protection against demons and devils. The recipient of this ritual gains a +1 bonus on saves against spells and special attacks used by evil outsiders. Very interesting. I've been essentially using this in the game already without knowing it. But you can't cast Cure. True, but I would probably... I'd have to think about that a little bit. But I might be willing to allow the blessing to apply to any healing applied to that person. Or maybe any healing by priests of your faith or something. Yeah, I'd have to think about it a little bit. The other one is Ritual Blood Bonds. You invest your allies with the mighty power of your totem god or similar divine entity. These rituals allow you to forge bonds between warriors that stand the test of combat. Your prerequisite is you must be orc or half-orc and have knowledge religion 4 ranks. You gain access to rituals based on your total ranks in knowledge. Blood Brothers. Knowledge religion 4 ranks. You gather up to 6 of your allies in a circle. Each member of this circle pledges allegiance to the others, cuts themselves, and bleeds into a bowl containing holy water or unholy water as appropriate to your alignment. You then sprinkle this mixture on yourself and the members of the circle. You and everyone else who participated in the ritual get a +4 morale bonus on will saves against fear. You guys better be lucky I didn't know about that before the Battle of Capstone. as long as each individual can see one other ally who took part in the ritual. Then the higher level version, Vengeful Bonds of Brotherhood, 8 ranks knowledge religion. You create a close mystical bond between you and your allies. Up to 6 individuals can participate with you in this ritual. Blah, 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 blah. This ritual grants a benefit to its participants, including you, when an ally falls in battle. If an individual who participated in this ritual sees another participant drop 0 or fewer hit points during an opponent's actions, due to an opponent's actions, he gains a +2 morale bonus on attack rolls against the foe who dropped his ally. Holy heck. Woo! Hey, Sai, thank you for coming by. Hello and adios. No worries. I appreciate you. Any healing done on his lands? That would be so insanely strong. Notice that I guess Damon's neutral evil outsiders got ditched in some version of the game. I think that happened even back in AD&D, actually, because AD&D I know has a lot of stuff about the Blood War, which is like the war between demons and devils. Demons being chaotic evil and devils being lawful evil. It's essentially the way that it's described in the cosmology of D&D is that like demons or devils probably could overtake the material plane and possibly the heavens as well, except they're always fighting each other. The demons and devils kind of keep each other in check. Is the TLDR of how it's set up, at least in AD&D and 3rd edition. Okay, well that was interesting, but not directly relevant to what I was hoping to find. However, could be interesting for some other things in the future. I'm just going to write down ceremony feats in PHB2. No particular reason. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Let's fart around a little, or let's do a little Google search farting around here. D&D 3.5 reputation. Could also be, it could be Dungeon Master's Guide too. Great Modron March helps keep demons and devils. Okay, so I found it in the SRD, so it's definitely in one of the core rule books. I don't remember if the SRD includes the number 2 versions, or if it's only the primary 3. Oh, it's an Unearthed Arcana. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Hello there, Asher. How are you? What's the difference between a GM and a DM? Or are they basically the same? They're pretty much interchangeable. Yeah. Game Master is a little bit more modern term and a little bit more system agnostic, because for like, I don't know, Star Wars, say, if you're playing one of the Star Wars RPGs, it's like a little bit weird to say Dungeon Master. I mean, like, yeah, there could be some dungeons in Star Wars, but so Game Master is a little bit more general. But that really is just down to preference. Kenobi was the master of the low ground. That's why he suckered Anakin to take the high ground. Yeah, I mean, I tend to just use GM for all of it, frankly, but because also some systems then get into their own terms, like Call of Cthulhu calls them keepers and blah, blah, blah. But if you say Game Master, like anybody in any TTRPG system knows what you're talking about. Which, again, you could argue is true for DM, but... okay. We want to party. We want to party. Hey, reputation. Amras, it's right next to honor. which is right next to taint. Or just God. All right. Reputation. In this system, every character gains reputation of one sort or another as his career progresses. This is so weird. Most of the D&D, especially 3.5 books, they usually use feminine pronouns. But both of the books that we went through recently used masculine. While a character might try to take advantage of his reputation from time to time, usually the character's reputation precedes him, whether he wants it to or not. Reputation enhances non-combat interactions between characters by providing bonuses to certain skill checks. Those who recognize a character are more likely to help him or do what he asks, provided the character's reputation is a positive influence on the NPC or monster that recognizes him. A high reputation bonus makes it difficult for a character to mask his identity, which can be a problem if he's trying not to be noticed. The taint of evil. Calm down, y'all. Fame or infamy. When a character's reputation represents lies in the character's interaction with NPCs or monsters. Wait. Nope. Wrong emphasis. What a character's reputation represents lies in the character's interaction with the NPCs or monsters. Most characters with a high reputation bonus, +4 or higher, are considered well-known within their profession or social circle. Whether this notoriety has a positive or negative effect depends on the point of view of the person who recognizes the character. Then we have a section on nom de plumes and secret identities, reputation checks, skill checks. Okay, so reputation might not be quite what we want. NPC reputations, reputation-based feats. So there's low profile, reduce your reputation bonus by 3, and renown, increase your reputation bonus by 3. Event-based reputation, which is more what I would use if we were using reputation. Okay, so I think reputation actually isn't quite what we want. We want the section on, we probably want like the leadership feat, essentially. But while we're here, let's look at the section on honor really quick for Dear Allandite. What does this do? Honor is a measuring stick that reflects a person's worth in society, trustworthiness, decency, and loyalty. Honor can be used as a tool similar to alignment for defining characters. In the extreme case, it can replace alignment. A game that defines a character's outlook based on his honor rather than his alignment can still feature conflicts between good and evil or law and chaos. However, these concepts are ideals rather than phenomena detectable by spells. You may choose to use honor as an actual game mechanic, blah, 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 blah. Mechanical honor. This system proposes a way to determine a starting honor score for each character and how a character's actions affect their honor score thereafter. Tim, I rolled a 1 IRL for this. Starting honor. A character's alignment determines his starting honor score, with lawful alignments tending to have higher scores than chaotic or neutral, and good alignments tending to have higher scores than evil or neutral. Therefore, lawful good has the most, then neutral good, chaotic good, lawful neutral, neutral, chaotic neutral, lawful evil, neutral evil, and chaotic evil. I would actually argue that lawful evil potentially has more honor than at least chaotic neutral, if not true neutral as well. That's kind of the whole, like, you can be honorable and evil. Like you can act with like a code of honor. Oh, and then also if you have an ancestral hero or an ancestral failure, those change it as well. Okay, so what does honor do for us? What is this? If you acquire property, that increases your honor. I mean, okay, I get it, I guess. Avenging a murdered family member, completing an assigned task, completing a great deed, defeating an archenemy, escaping prison, fulfilling an oath, fulfilling a family debt, giving a valuable gift to an NPC, having a heroic death, losing honor, there's more, but being accused of a crime, breaking an oath, being convicted of a crime, failing an assigned task, losing a contest, murder of a family member, rash or improper social behavior. Taking a bribe, treason. Oh, really? None. Heroic death, Death. Palladium books have an evil alignment where honor among thieves is their basis. Oh, for sure. There's also free from honor. Okay, so what does this actually do for us? What do we get with this system? Oh, free form, not free from. Okay, benefits of honor. When an honorable paladin interacts with an assassin or a rogue, no matter how honorable, the benefits change to penalties. Wait, what? It is important to remember that the benefits of honor only apply when interacting with someone who shares the same or similar honor code. Okay, I missed a little part. Refer the fault. Got it. So if your honor is 20 or more, the previous... So you would get the previous 3 benefits plus a +2 leadership score modifier or great renown. What are the other benefits? +2 circumstance bonus on sense motive checks when the target is behaving dishonorably. Previous benefit and a +1 circumstance bonus on will saves when the consequences of failing the save would bring dishonor on the character. And the previous 2 benefits and a +2 circumstance bonus on diplomacy checks. That could be kind of fun. That could be kind of fun. I'll look more into that later. I'm willing to put a few minutes into reading through it, but I'm not going to try and make any decisions about that today. That can be a thing for a future stream. We can skip the honorable paladin. Hello, Troll. Thanks for coming by, man. How are you? And thank you so much for joining us on YouTube. I really appreciate that. Are you familiar with the author John Scalzi? Oh, that does sound familiar. Went to a panel with him at DragonCon. They brought a former Methodist. They bought a former Methodist church to use as their corporate headquarters. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I can't think where that name sounds familiar from, but it does sound familiar to me. Okay, so reputation is not really what we wanted. What about... But I think the leadership feat? Or, well, let's just try Googling D&D 3.5. Acquiring followers. I'm pretty sure that's mostly just going to lead back to leadership, but been pretty good. Just one item away from getting your pet focus item, but it comes out of a dungeon. Yes, Najina, right? So you need like a shovel or a stein or that type of thing. I bet if you and Mustache went down there, you could probably like couldn't go to the bottom of the dungeon, but you could do some stuff in Najina with the 2 of you. This is spooky, even looking this up, because leadership is one of the fastest ways to break version 3 of D&D. Thrall herd instead of leadership. Oh god. Extra followers. Hello, Lee. How are you? I can't remember. Was that today or yesterday that was a super mess at work? Well, yesterday into today, or the previous day into yesterday, I should say. So several people are mentioning a feat called Extra Followers from Heroes of Battle. So we'll grab that book here in a second. I think that's still probably just changing leadership. Oh god, there's a handbook for leadership and similar feats. Of course there is. What have I done? All right, let's start with Heroes of Battle. Oh no, Brilliant Gameologist is down now? Another 3-5 resource bites the dust. That sucks. That website was around for a long time. Whoops, and I just closed the tab. I didn't mean to. Fart. Okay, extra followers and Heroes of Battle. Almost grabbed Heroes of Horror instead. That would have yielded interesting results. Half of the party in your Pathfinder 1 campaign have taken the leadership feat. Oh, I believe it. Is it any less broken in Pathfinder? Change gears. Alan Dite. He's 500 XP. We dropped all 140 platinum grinding gargoyle eyes. Yes, gargoyle eyes are fantastic for cash. Did you go over to
Ninja Nolan is the first chatter and has been first 15
I don't have
times.
my headset on. Was that a follow on Twitch? Oh no, it's just Enola being a goofball. Did you go over to Castle Mistmore? Oh, Ocean of Tears. Okay. Extra followers. Extra followers. Beats. Extra followers. Page 97. Also, this book has an awesome cover. I love the cover art for this book. Extra followers, leadership, prerequisite, charisma 13, and the leadership feat. Okay, well, there's that. You can lead twice as many followers as indicated for your leadership score. See page 106 of the Dungeon Masters Guide. Well, that's useful at least. Got a lot of book research the last couple days, which has been kind of fun. I like having the books and going through them and whatnot. What did I say? 107, I think. Really? One has an animated doll as his follower. One has a ship's crew as his followers. Another has an alchemist and a research mage. Okay. It's break time. Ah, yes. Thanks for looking out. Okay, let me just read through this section and then we'll break. It's only just barely after 30 minutes, so. Leadership. General. Oh, God. Character with this feat is the sort of individual who others want to follow, and he or she has done some work attempting to recruit cohorts and followers. Prerequisite: a character must be at least 6th level to take this feat. Benefits: having this feat enables the character to attract loyal companions and devoted followers. So, but that's the thing, right? Is we're not trying to create loyal companions. I'm just trying to find something to base this on. Several factors can affect a character's leadership score, causing it to vary from the base score, character level plus charisma modifier. A character's reputation, from the point of view of the cohort or follower he is trying to attract, raises or lowers his leadership score. Number of followers by level. So technically you get none until level 7. This kind of sucks. This isn't exactly what we want either. What about this? Attracting cohorts. A character of 6th level or higher can start attracting cohorts. See page 104 and followers by taking leadership feat. Oh. If your group is small, cohorts might be a great idea. If it's big enough that a cohort would be a problem, don't let the PCs have cohorts. A character can try to attract a cohort of a particular race, class, and alignment. The cohort's alignment may not be opposed to the leader's alignment on either axis, essentially. And the leader takes the leadership penalty if he recruits a cohort of an alignment different from their own. Hirelings. We don't really want hirelings either. Okay, so we might have to homebrew something here. Because there's no check involved with leadership. You just get followers every level. But I feel like it should be a role, which means that we want to base the role on reputation. So I think we're homebrewing something. Well, this is taking way longer than I expected. That's okay though. That's okay though. So when so we're gonna go to break, stretch our legs, refill our water, etc. Here in a minute. If you haven't done so, I recommend that you join me while I'm up and about. When I come back, we're gonna work on the chat bot. Oop, where is it? There we go. The chat bot really quickly, because that's like a 5-minute or less task, and then we'll get back to this reputation problem. And I guess we're gonna invent a system for attracting peasants to Alendite's land. So that'll be fun. In the meantime, like I said, we're going to put 5 minutes on the clock, take a little stretch break, refill our water and whatnot. If you haven't been up and moving around for a little while, I recommend that you join me. While I am walking around, I'm going to do a Pokemon Go battle. I'll let you know how it goes. All right, we back. I did win. I did also close the window that showed it on accident, so I can't show it. But I, in fact, even still had one of my shields left. What it was I actually won really quickly, and I had a minute and a half left, and I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Don't worry, I'll just not close the window, and then I'll go show them. And then I ADD'd and promptly closed the window, so I could play with my phone during the 75 seconds I was going to be in the bathroom. You totally have 2 followers. The doll is fun. To kid this that has been killed. A villainous couple that you fought and turned into all the others were. Oh, interesting. Okay. You know, one other thought before we start homebrewing. I thought of this while I was battling as well. Stronghold Builder's Guidebook might address this. So before we go out of our way to create something that might already exist, let's take a look in here. Building a stronghold. Select a site, choose a size, purchase components, purchase extras, determine the final price. Okay, so there could be some stuff in there. There's some info on labor, staff costs, and landlording that we might want to look at. Get approval, blah, blah, blah. Okay, stronghold components. We know about all that. Walls, doors, locks, extras, etc. Strongholds in your campaign, chapter 3. That might have some useful stuff in there too. So let's look really quickly at labor, staff, and landlording on page 10. So you may have cooked the chicken in simple syrup. You thought it was cooking oil. That'll be interesting. All right. Staff costs. So there is actually a feat, it looks like, to being a landlord. Prerequisite 9th level. That seems very high. I mean, I guess I get it, but benefits. This feat gives you a small allowance that you can use to build or expand your stronghold. It's not cash, so it only applies to strong. Okay, and it's also worth pointing out, Stronghold Builder's Guidebook is a 3.0 book that was never updated to 3.5. And generally speaking, 3.5 made everything a bit easier and more accessible. So if this book had been updated to 3.5, my guess would be that they would lower the level requirement to like 6 instead of 9. In addition, this feat provides matching funds for expenditures made from your own purse of gold. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Interesting, but not helpful. Yeah. So that's what it meant when it said landlord. It was talking about the landlord feat. So let's look at chapter 3, strongholds in your campaign. Building a stronghold. Location, location, location. Lining up workers. Sounds like it'll probably be useful. Also, under running a stronghold, we have delegate, which will be about having a castellan, which we've already done, and making it pay, which might have some info that we want. Protecting the stronghold. Yeah, that's not going to have anything there. Assaulting a stronghold, commandeering a stronghold, and destroying a stronghold. So I'm sure our characters can manage that without any help. Okay, so let's look at the section on lining up workers, page 88. Unless you plan on building. Oh, this is talking about for construction, though. Okay. How much will the fort staff get in weekly payments? We actually have calculated all of that. We have a handy dandy little sheet that does it. I can show it on screen here in a minute. That sadly was also not helpful. Okay. Let's just look at the list of tables and then we'll start. We'll do our chatbot thing and then we'll start homebrewing. The underlying gratitude of the landlord and exposure with sparkles. I believe this book has been bitten by one of our cats at some point. I see teeth. Okay. Not helpful. How much does the fort staff get in payment? Let's go to drive.google.com. Hashtag not sponsored. Oh, break is over. Thank you. I'll update that too. That means you get some free time because I'm just going to put 30 minutes on the clock anyway from now. Why is it spicy? So I made a worksheet here with a little bit of help that I'm honestly drawing a blank on. I think it was Thadris helped with a little bit. Cat wanted to build its own stronghold. Yes. You're off work today. All your time is free. That's fair. So this first page might not look like much, but this is a running total. Apparently somebody deleted what it said there. I think it said final cost. Which shows the final cost of the stronghold, any price modifiers that they acquired, the original gross cost of the stronghold, the size of the stronghold in stronghold spaces, which therefore determines the build time. Although, also that's wrong. Oh, wait, no, never mind. That's right. It's not based off of stronghold spaces. It's based on cost. And then the monthly payroll, and that's automatically calculated. So as we go through and change options like what is the distance from the nearest large town and how large is that town, that affects the price of the stronghold. So in our case, our stronghold is 17 to 48 miles away. Specifically, it's about 20. So that is a 2% price increase. So like if I were to uncheck that, then it gets cheaper. Climate and terrain matters as well. Components, of course, determine price. Labor. So this is labor to construct. Any magical assistance with construction. And then personnel. So our players were able to go through and mark down what staff. Now, they actually hired very little additional staff. There was some required staff. For instance, they had to, with a stable, you have to have one animal tender. And I think this updates automatically too. So if I remember correctly, when they selected stable in here, like when they typed like we're building a stable, then it automatically added one animal tender. And et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So then it gives monthly wages. And then of course per person in that role. And then of course you just multiply those out. So like their guard staff, they have a guard staff, the minimum guard staff of 6 for a stronghold of their size. with each one of those making 8 gold per month. So 48 gold in guard staff per month. Now, as a reminder, we don't use weeks. We use 10 days. Each month is divided evenly into 3 10 days. So they probably would just be paid monthly, honestly. But, if we did want to divide that out, then they'd get paid, whatever, 1/3 of that every 10 day. How long has it been? Oh, the stronghold doesn't even actually exist yet. Construction is going to start like within the 10 day for sure. Only 2 guards on duty at a time. I mean, remember, this is not very big. This is not very big. This is a glorified watchtower with some support buildings. Oh, you meant how long have I been streaming? Oh, you made it sooner this time. I've been streaming for less than an hour. We've got about 25 minutes left on the clock that we're expecting to be here. So anyway, all of that totals out to now. This also includes Eyeless and Zara, Bahir's personal valets. So the party will have to keep that separate or whatever. But the total monthly payroll for Fort Leona will be 106 gold and 5 silver. So if you wanted weekly payroll, because that was the structure of the question, which is fine, their 10 daily payroll would be whatever that math works out to, 37 or something like that gold per 10 day. Anyway, I'm proud of that spreadsheet, so that was a good opportunity to show it off really quickly because it's neat the way that it auto calculates everything. Let's get into stream elements, and we need to add a few chatbot things. So I want to have something that tracks how many spells our casters have components for on hand. Because now I'm not going to get into like, oh, do you have, you want to cast, augury? Like, do you have 2 bird beaks? Like, I don't want to track it quite that granularly. That's going to get obnoxious. But I do think, broadly speaking, I like tracking things like rations, for instance, which is the other thing that we're going to add to the chatbot. Because when you go and do, like, when you travel, especially like they're about to go and do, where they're going to travel for potentially a 10 day or more, like, do you actually have rations for that? Like, what happens if you run out of rations? Like, are you stopping and hunting? While you're hunting, you might get into more danger, et cetera, et cetera. So I like those things because I think that they further the narrative. And same thing with spell components. So we're going to add a couple of commands to our chatbot, and then we'll get back to our home brewing of peasant acquisition. Do we have anything tracking spells right now? D&D. When we type D&D commands, what is the actual response there? We have Death Tracker, HP, Party, World Info, Spells, Pie, and Potatoes. I think Skabosh is out of potatoes though, right? Didn't she throw the rest of them? I think potatoes might be 0 now. So what does spells return right now? When you type D&D spells, what do you got? Oh, that's the number of spells that they currently have available for the day. What do you guys think? Should we make something separate to track how many spell components they have? Or should the spells command just yield number of daily spells left and number of components left? I feel like maybe just the same command. You totally would bring enough food, but also you'd eat it too fast. Just result not have enough food. I can tell this one hasn't been updated in a while because it doesn't even have their second level spells in here yet. Hello. I'm just going to say second level LVL because this is going to be a really long command otherwise. And then we'll need to remind Mr. Rubato about this command. If for those of you that don't know, Rubato is the one that keeps up our chat commands while we're playing. And in general, he does a very good job of that, to be clear. But it looks like this one may have slipped by the wayside after we added it. And cantrips. There we go. I think that is a little better. So now it says when you use the command. Oh, there was no sound for a second as I was programming the chat bot there. So now when you do exclamation point spells or exclamation point D&D spells, it returns thumbs up, Druge, cantrips, number out of number, first number out of number, second number out of number, and then spell components. Then thumbs up to close Druge, then vertical bar, then wizard emoji, rubato, cantrips, number out of number, first. Oops, I got messed up. First number out of number. Second level, number out of number, and then spell components. Okay. So that's good. I think we just want to add one for rations. Rations. Then we're going to go add a new command. Command name is D&D rations. The alternate command, or the command alias, is just rations. Then that will respond and say, here, blank. Or wait, I guess Allendites first if we're alphabetizing. Allendites, number, space, vertical bar, space, here. Druge, number, space, number. Rubato. And Bosch number. I wonder if there's a good, like an easy universal emoji food. Oh, it's a burger. What about anything else? Oh my gosh, there's a potato emoji. We should put that on. Okay, hold on, one thing at a time. Is there a pie emoji? Because we do have a pie command. There's a pizza emoji. Sweets and desserts. That's a cake. There's a pie. All right, ration. What's a good way to like convey the idea of like ration? Ooh, maybe turkey leg? Turkey leg seems pretty good. All right, activate command. I think we should put an emoji on each of these. You're a cake. Cake by the ocean. Maybe even on the HP one, we should put the heart, I think, right? We were already doing this for some of the commands, so I think this makes sense to go back and do. Ava's remaining axes, Pepe hands, Kabosh's daggers, although she refuses to throw them, so I don't know if we actually need a tracker for that. Yes, the potato command says Kabosh has 0 out of 11 potatoes remaining. So like I said, I believe that the rest were thrown. Hound Knight can only summon cake now. It's the best of spells. You just finished your Murkmire piece. Really happy. I'm excited to see it. Okay. Hopefully adding the pie emoji doesn't break the programming for the pie one, because that's kind of a special command. D&D. Yeah, we should totally put a heart on the health one. Heart. Red heart. Copy. Copy. And save. D&D HP. Okay, cool. We have some new D&D commands that we've added and set up and beautified a little bit with emojis. Like 10 minutes. Nah, like 8 minutes. I don't remember exactly when I started that, but that's okay. That was still fairly quick. Then I need to make myself a note in our session 35 notes for meta discussions to have during pre-show is rations and spell components. Yeah, good job. Okay, well, I mean, that was only, I guess I don't know how long you were working on it before, but that was probably an hour or less. So I think you did a good job of managing your time, and hopefully you're happy with your output as well. I think at this point we can safely say that working on Mina's Mini is going to have to wait until next week's stream. But that's okay. That's why I had it at the end of the list. So, D&D folder. Where else do I have homebrew? Homebrew. I try not to homebrew too much, but of course some things need to be homebrewed. Oh, it's in the public folder. I don't see why we couldn't share this publicly. We're going to design it publicly. And it's been a while since I added stuff to the public folder anyway. Add a blank document. We will call this attracting peasantry. I don't know what else to call it. Attracting peasantry to Allendice land, really. For those of you that have never seen our public folder, by the way. Actually, I forgot what the command for that is on YouTube. D&D? No. Oh. Okay, that was sort of helpful. World info. That's what it is on Twitch. Did I ever use that command? No. Let's do a little bit of searching. Chatbot. Chat commands. Custom commands. This should be D&D and M. The M is for Mercy's Homebrews. Oh, it got swapped over to. That's annoying. Yeah. No, it's going to be. What I'm looking for is there's a public folder where people. Oh, it's D&D info. Wait, did I? Oh, I tried world info. There's a public folder where people can go and look about stuff about our world, such as like deities and Allendice's progress on training his horse and like things like that. That being said, I have some cool deity info that I added, that I created a little while ago that I don't know if I put it in the public folder. We can look at that in a second too. What did OKWA say there? He said, wait, I swear to God, there was another message there. Just finished this piece. We talked about that. Then Tim said again. Then I started messing with commands. Maybe he typed a message and deleted it? I swear to God, there was another message I saw come through. So yeah, let's look real fast at our public folder. Does that have the religion info that I added for Demgar? Top chat only. No, I have it set to live chat. The war should train Alan diet. It does seem that way sometimes, doesn't it? Okay, I did do it. Hey, look at me being up to date on things. For those of you that have never seen it, this was really fun. I need to do this for more of the deities. I'll show it just super fast. You can go and look at it in the folder that I linked in chat there a minute ago. But this is kind of an outline of the info for the worshippers of Demgar. So they are known as the... No, you want live chat, not top chat. The Stoneborn faith, which is the primary religion of the dwarves. Other people are welcome to worship Demgar. In fact, we have people in both parties, I believe, that do. But Demgar's domains, his symbol, his alignment, a description of Demgar, a little bit of info on the clergy and organization of the church, the tenets of faith, several religious rites and practices, and descriptions of those. This was really fun to make. I want to do this for all the custom deities that we have in our world. So be looking for more of these. We're going to do, once I make these for all the religions, we're going to do, I'm going to do a video series called Religions of Rin, where we talk about each of them. Because I think that'll be really fun. They were short, but I tried to be pretty flavorful for them. So like their funerary rite, just as a taste, is the deep silence. When a worshiper of Demgar dies, their faithful community goes into deep silence. For 3 days, no work is done except for the carving of a single stone tablet with the deceased's name and deeds engraved upon it. The funeral procession takes place in silence until the tablet is laid in the family crypt. Short to the point, but I think pretty flavorful. Funerary flavor. Right. So anyway, that info and more is in the public folder. Anybody can look at that anytime they want to. So reputation. I think reputation is going to be the primary thing that we're building this off of, because the way that leadership works just doesn't really match with what we're envisioning here. That being said, we're going to do one quick cursory search and see D&D 3.5 attracting peasants for player-owned land, and just see if anybody else has done anything like this. PCs, NPCs, and economic injustice in D&D 3.5. That sounds like an interesting read. Probably not quite what we want, but also something on buying land. That might have something there. Players setting up dominions and strongholds. I've never heard of that website before. Dragon's Foot. Okay. We got a couple things to look at here really fast. Let's see. 2 results from Giant in the Playground, which is a fantastic forum for at least D&D 3.5 content. I'm not sure if they do 5th edition stuff. And then 1 from this website, Dragon's Foot, that I don't know about. PCs, NPCs, and economic injustice in D&D 3.5. In this thread, I'd like to discuss the crass economic advantages that PCs have over NPCs. Yes, this is well known. The economy in D&D is horrifically skewed if you ever look at it in any detail. Income, expenses, taxes, and how to account for these things. So this is probably tangentially related, but not directly to what we want here. According to page 140 of the Dungeon Masters Guide, version 3.5, 2012, taxes paid to the Queen, Emperor, or local Baroness might consume as much as 1/5 of a character's wealth. Wait, are PCs supposed to be paying tax? Hold on. Like, it kind of makes sense, but I never thought about it. I don't even know if I would implement it or not. I'd have to think about that a little bit, but now I'm just very curious. Taxes and tithes. Taxes paid to the Queen, the Emperor, or local Baroness might consume as much as 1/5 of a character's wealth, although these expenses can vary considerably from land to land. Representatives of the government usually collect taxes yearly, biannually, or quarterly. Of course, as travelers, adventurers might avoid most collection periods, and so you can ignore taxes for the PCs if you want. Those who own land or are residents may find themselves assessed and taxed, however. Tithes are paid to the church by those who are faithful participants in a religion. Tithes often amount to blah, 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 blah. Okay. Huh, that's interesting. I never thought about it before. Hello, DM Hostile Intent. How are you? Just like everybody else, yeah. Now our taxes fun? God, no. Well, I think it depends a lot on how you use it, right? You should run a campaign where there's no monetary system. Everything is barter. That would also be interesting. Now, is just simply losing some of your wealth fun? In a vacuum, no. But what it might potentially do, right? Because you can just account for that as the DM. Like if you're going to tax the players, whatever, let's say 20%, you just give the players 20% more money, and then functionally nothing's changed. But what that's going to inherently do is make a game more political, right? Maybe the players lobby for lower taxes. Maybe there's resistance to the king that rises out of that. That's fun. Maybe the players become landlords, as they are in our game. and they want to levy different taxes on their people than what the crown is trying to levy on them. Maybe they're more, maybe they're less. Like that could create interesting role play as well. So I think if you were to do any sort of taxing on the players, you definitely want to think really seriously about how you're implementing that and how is it benefiting your storytelling, if at all. If you can't implement it in a way that's easy to run, easy or fun to run, or you can't implement it in a way that is beneficial to your story, then yeah, absolutely don't mess with taxing your players. But I think just blanket saying that taxes are anti-fun is missing a little bit of opportunity. I think most games would not benefit from that, but I think there could be some situations that could be interesting. Until the DM is forced to deal with the fact that the entire party spends the adventure looking to sell their body parts for gear. Right, Night Owl? Maybe all money is considered a tip and is deductible. Yeah, also it could be kind of a funny thing to do as almost like a one-shot, right? Because just like how I had never thought about taxing the players, most players have probably never thought about being taxed. So it could be kind of a funny thing of like to have a tax collector show up and be like, I've finally caught up to you. And then like have both in and out of character have them be like, wait, what? Because again, then, so what do we do, right? Can we use that situation to further storytelling? Would I actually charge the players back taxes? Probably not. But what does that create an opportunity for? Now, because the players owe back taxes, they are instead indebted to the crown to go and do a quest. Now we have an adventure hook, right? So I think it would be interesting to do something like that. I saw my pinky finger for a dagger. If it's a Roman tax collector, I start combat. Bahir would have to pay a lot. Bahir is a foreign national. In fact, Bahir is foreign royalty. That would be interesting. Again, right? We can further some storytelling there. Maybe because we know. So this is not a spoiler. Bahir has talked about this openly. I mean, I guess it's a spoiler if you've never watched any of our episodes, but one of Bahir's long-term character goals is to help his brother raise an army to go and depose their father who's going crazy, who rules in a faraway land. I'll link the video to his backstory if you're curious, because we have a cool video that we made about all that. So there could potentially be something interesting, not taxes specifically, right? But like maybe the kingdom of Rin will, because generally the kingdom itself would be unlikely to get involved in foreign warfare and also doesn't really have a standing military to use for that. However, maybe they would offer some military aid in trade for in trade, I guess, for like favorable trade rights with Bahir's homeland or something like that. So not taxes specifically, but following kind of that same economic storytelling. You could see them paying taxes if they were in like the capital or major city, as long as the tax-paying players, their characters are citizens. Right. He can claim diplomatic immunities. If only that was how that worked back then. Wait, what if Bahir's brother is evading tax collectors? That would be hilarious. Now, like I said, I would only implement something like that if I thought I could use it to further narrative. I think it would be a funny gotcha, and possibly a way to introduce an adventure hook. There will probably be some taxation of Alandite, as he is now a landlord. So, for context, I guess, for anybody newly tuning in, because some people might be like, "Are you seriously talking about D&D taxes?" Like I said, mainly as an adventure hook, but our players are becoming landlords in our primary campaign, and so that inherently makes our campaign a little bit more political and a little bit more logistical. Now, of course, I don't want to get too lost in the weeds with that. But what started all of this is one of the things that we're working on today is how the characters potentially attract peasantry to live on their land. As a result, there presumably will be taxes involved. So we will spend way more time on the back end during these streams coming up with like a homebrew for something like that than we will spend table time actually using it. But that's okay. That's one of the things that's kind of fun, right? Is to create stuff, and then now that system's in place, and then again, how do we use that to build narrative? I'm not actually going to track, like, oh God, can each peasant come up with 1 gold to pay Alandite every month or whatever? Like, good God, no. However, if there is a general expectation that the NPC peasants that live on Alandite's land are paying taxes, then we can create an adventure hook by saying your NPCs are failing to meet their tax burden. You should investigate why. And then when they go and investigate why, then they find out that all the farmers that live on his land are having all of their crops destroyed by a blight. Now we have an adventure hook, right? So that's where things like that, I think, become more interesting. Not because we're going to track every gold that every theoretical NPC theoretically owes to our landlord player character. But because it can be a vector for adventure hooks and storytelling. Okay, let me catch up on the chat there. A random thought, but here has been put into an arranged marriage, and that's why he's on the run. The to-be wife has sent tax collectors. That's kind of fun. I guess he also couldn't own land. Yeah, good point, Tim. Shalendor, in our primary game, most of us are hunting an undead assassin that you fear may kill the ruler instead of contacting some of the rich and powerful, drumming up support for the man that gave us land. Hamras blames the goblins. Of course he does. Of course he does. That was an interesting, at least to me, diatribe. Hopefully other people thought it was interesting too. Let me get back to what we're looking at here, our forum threads. For a campaign I'm in, my character would like to purchase some... This is a giant in the playground thread. My character would like to purchase some land for personal use. However, I have no idea how to figure out how much it should cost. Okay, so that does not directly address what we want. However, there could be some related stuff. Somebody suggested, but no page number. Just I would check Dungeon Master's Guide or Dungeon Master's Guide 2. Okay, that's not helpful. So they're talking about the prices of land. I was just hoping maybe in this thread talking about purchasing land, it would also say something about people, like living on your land or moving to your land. But so far, at least, that's not being addressed in this thread. It's so crazy cool that Giant in the Playground has preserved all these forum threads from like 15 plus years ago. I'm going to be very sad if / when that website ever shuts down. Yeah, I see that you sent me something. Okay, well, I just obviously I'm having enough trouble focusing as it is, so I'll look at it after we end the stream here. Oh god, that's a ton of math. Talking about purchasing buildings and such. Okay, that didn't have anything that we wanted. What about this other one from players setting up dominions and strongholds in Dragonsfoot? Dragonsfoot.org. Like I said, I've never heard of this website before. It's interesting. What game system are they talking about? Oh, this might be for AD&D. That'd be close enough, though. Yeah. Okay. That didn't really help with what we were hoping for either. Imagine if Bahir's brother hooks up with a female mercenary that he hires. The whole rebelling together trope, right? All right. So reputation. Since we didn't find anything else. I can't believe this is something that, I mean, it could have, who knows? Somebody could have homebrewed something like this on a website that's no longer around, but what can we do to modify reputation to accomplish what we're looking for? Since we didn't otherwise make it there in our Google searching. Oh, right. I said I was going to link that video, by the way, during my little soapbox earlier, and then I didn't do it. I guess just a quick shout out too for anybody who's enjoying your time here. Thank you for joining us today. If you're new, if you've never been here before, I'm Mercy, the head game master at HereThereBeMonsters. We stream most Wednesdays and about every other Thursday here on YouTube, working on behind the scenes stuff for our campaigns in the world of Rin. You can catch up on both of those with playlists here on youtube.com/HereThereBeMonsters. And also, as I mentioned, we have some backstory to share as well. Now, for now, we've only uploaded one of those, which apparently I never even made a playlist for. Shoot. Which is Bahir's backstory, the foreign-born noble that we were talking about. That video is called Sand and Swords, and you can find it right here. And we're going to be making another similar video for one of our other players. I'm hoping to release it ideally before the end of the month, but at least by next month. Best be off it. Hey, you too, Radiant Squirrel. Thanks for coming by. Always good to see you, sir. All right, reputation checks. So this is what we're going to base it on. Most of the time, a character doesn't decide to use his reputation. The GM decides when a character's reputation is relevant to a scene or an encounter. At the moment it becomes pertinent, the GM makes a reputation check for an NPC or monster that might be influenced in some fashion due to the character's notoriety. A reputation check is equal to 1d20 plus the character's reputation bonus plus the NPC or monster's intelligence modifier. Oh, interesting. So the person being influenced contributes to the roll. The GM may substitute a... Wait. That's interesting. I didn't even notice that. In the description for reputation check, this is from a D&D source book. They're calling it Game Master, not Dungeon Master. The GM may substitute a knowledge skill bonus for the intelligence modifier if he decides the character's past activities apply to a particular field. For example, if the character were a cleric, knowledge religion might be appropriate. Sure. The standard DC of a reputation check is 25. Oh. If the NPC or monster succeeds on the reputation check, he or she recognizes the character. Oh, that makes more sense. That's why, okay, that's why the NPC's intelligence modifier matters. It's not the player makes a reputation check to influence an NPC, kind of like diplomacy. It's that the NPC makes a reputation check to recognize the player. That doesn't really change how we're going to use it here, though. Could it require a power hour to work on a project you've been putting off? To what were you referring, Tim? I'm sorry. What an NPC... References for the backstories. Oh, that'll require way more than 1 power hour. But yes, broadly speaking, yes. When an NPC or monster with an intelligence score of 5 or higher has a positive opinion of the character's reputation, the character gains a bonus on bluff, diplomacy, gather information, and perform checks equal to the reputation bonus. Are both of the lights out? I don't think. Oh, yeah. So that one's been broken for a while. We need to buy a new one. Maybe we put that as a on throne. Actually, do you mind adding that to Trello? This one, I just didn't turn it on. Townsfolk might be the solution here. We can reverse engineer the townsfolk system. So for those of you that don't know, in the world building that we do for Rin, especially because we have 2 campaigns taking place in the same setting with 2 different parties and whatnot, we also have a tertiary program that we run called the Townsfolk, where people from the community, those of you watching the streams and whatnot, can create businesses and NPCs in the world of Rin. And those businesses operate semi-independently of the campaigns. Once per real-world month, you get to roll a profit check for your business and do a little bit of light role-playing with one of our other game masters. And then, depending on how your business is doing, we keep track of that, and you can buy upgrades for your business or hire staff or whatever. It's a fun way to involve more people in the world of Rin. But additionally, then we have those nicely fleshed out NPCs in place to use during our campaigns, which is really fun. In fact, we have 2 of them we're going to be using next session, I think. So maybe instead of creating something new, essentially, Alendite is going to make a profit check, like he's running a townsfolk business. And then instead of profit, it's NPC acquisition. Or loss, right? Maybe Alendite's a bad landlord and people move away from his land. Hello, Orar, Rarar. How are you, milady? I think that actually makes the most sense to me because, like I said, reputation wasn't really like we can use it as a basis to create a homebrew system, but townsfolk already exists. We already created rules for that. Let's go and look at that. Power hour. We're only just barely over our hard cap. Besides, we're grinding a little. For one, this is something that needs to get done. But for 2, we are super, super close to hitting 20 new YouTube followers in the rolling 30-day period. And these live streams have been doing really well for that. So I thought it's, other than the fact that this work needs to get done, thought it might be kind of fun to put in a little bit of extra time just to see if maybe we can hit that today. We've never done that before. And all the time we've had a YouTube channel, we've never had 20 new subs in a month. I think we're at 17 or 18. And yes, I'm having fun. Who's trusting Alendite with peasantry? Right. What could possibly go wrong? I see no downside to this. Discord. Open this up. Go to townsfolk. Town hall. Is that what I want? No, not the town hall. I want... There's a separate one called resources, right? There we go. Actually, you know, I might as well just stream this, right? There's no point in just having my face up here. The people of Rin, tales of the common folk. Yeah, we were reading about the mechanics for the honor system earlier, Orar. That was fun. This is a description. I'm going to skip that for now. You can join our Discord if you're interested in potentially making a business in Rin. Would somebody mind doing an exclamation point Discord for us? Thank you, Lily. Thank you. I appreciate it. They aren't peasants. They're acolytes. So, you know, this is interesting. Oh, it'd be really fun to try and convince Ava to come and be captain of your guard if / when your guard complement gets big enough to need a captain. Yeah, I think this is going to make a lot of sense because this would be, I would say, in the context of a business, operating a frontier wilderness fort in a dangerous area would be a highly risky business. It is also obviously in the wilderness. Resource cost, I would probably just call that medium. I don't think we need to use that part of the townsfolk rolling. Then okay, then we could replace the skills. Well, I guess not even replace, but like Alendite could use like his diplomacy skill. Right? And then what would be a secondary skill? Maybe that's where reputation comes in? Uh, 13 what, Lily? Sorry. Founder said, Alendite kind of reminds me of a paladin that joined our party for a while that had an axe beak. Oh, those things are cool. As his mount, which had a higher intelligence than the paladin. That's amazing. Uh, 13 likes. Holy crap. That's amazing. Thank you guys. Yeah, for a while there, we were bouncing around. I don't check this stuff too often during streams, and especially during YouTube streams, but I did see that we peaked at like 14 viewers or something, which is super cool. Isn't your secondary primary skill farrier? Well, but probably not for operating the business of a stronghold. Building types. Oh, we could replace building type with how developed his land is. Oh, this is going to be really good. I think this is the perfect template. Should be minus 10 under risk. It is highly risky right now. Honestly, it may be. It may be. We might, yeah, we'll modify the numbers a little bit. I think this is good, though. Also, like, do you have a guild affiliation or business partner? Again, we'll tweak that, but okay. I think that's really good. We probably won't use that. Not exactly, at least. You don't have debt related to this because it was deeded to you by the crown. Okay. I think, yeah, this is good. This is really good. Can I highlight? Oh, I can. Oh, dear God. Oh, I hate it. Okay, there we go. Can I? Yeah. Oh, no. No. We pasted in a notepad to get all that formatting off of there. Okay. And then we'll go back over here. I don't know if we'll use anything from this page, but we'll grab all of it just in case. Thank you, Lily. It is it is crazy how much information though. Like infographics are so space efficient. That is 3 full pages of rules with way smaller font. Whereas here it's like not even 2 full pages, like actually barely more than 1 with way bigger font. All right. So let's grab this link, I think. And then we'll say this is based on the and what did we call it? Nah, I'm not going to include the subtitle. It's fine. On the townsfolk fuels rules found here. Actually, found here. We'll do it this way, and then we'll hyperlink that. There. So base. Well, we'll do formatting later. How risky is it? Oh my God. Is it for peasants to live on a landlord's land? I think we add, I think the suggestion from, I think it was Tim, is good. We say very low. I think I'll put pluses on there as well. Plus and plus, and then we add very high. Do we like equals or do we like colons? It's not an infographic. I might like colon more. Yeah, I think we'll do colons. I think the equals works well on the infographic, but I like that better there. We'll just try and get the numbers down today, and then maybe next time, so I'm not going super insanely late, we'll do the formatting and version 2 during next week's Working Wednesday stream. So I think that makes sense. Location. I don't think we need to change anything here. Again, other than possibly the description and whatnot. But you could potentially have a stronghold that's like in a city or whatever. So I don't think we change that too much. Resource cost. I don't think we need that. Like that doesn't, there's no way to modify something like that to affect, unless we want something like infrastructure. Oh wait, but we talked about that already, right? That was going to be infrastructure. I was debating about that. Where was I debating about that? It's easier for me to look at here. It's prettier. I think I was thinking of it in the context of replacing profit bonus or maybe additional stat modifiers. Yeah, I think we can replace, maybe we replace this with infrastructure. And then we say, I'll just say description here. And we'll say this is like none. Minimal. I feel like there should be a fourth one. But I don't know, maybe high, or what would be a better word for high would be like exceptional infrastructure. Exceptional infrastructure. Yeah, I think that works. Okay, then we have skills. But instead of it being prescribed, because for townsfolk, we specifically wanted it to be easy and not too variable. But for this, I think we just have diplomacy. And then I think reputation, right? I think that makes sense. Instead of using another skill from the character sheet, we do a reputation roll. And then we can reference that to the SRD link for reputation check. The SRD. And we'll make that a hyperlink. You found the, I'm assuming that's like Quebec-y side of Facebook. Half of your reels are now in French. Okay. I think that's good for those. So we've addressed risk and location. I don't think there's anything we need to address for resource cost. Oh, although we could do this as like an additional modifier. It could be like, is there an incentive or a subsidy, essentially, right? That's what we would call it in like modern days. Oh, wait, did we paste that in twice on accident? Weird. I must have. I think it was when we were, yeah, it was when I was looking at apprentice and staff. That's what made me think of infrastructure. But I think infrastructure makes sense, right? Because if like Alendite decides to build roads and like install wells and stuff, then it'd make it more likely for people to move here. Yeah, I don't know how that got pasted in twice. Did it do that with the rest of this? Okay. So I guess maybe it wasn't as space efficient as I thought. It was just that we had pasted in too much data. Does having a guild affiliation or a business partner actually make... You know, this could be interesting because, like, if you have a strong guild affiliation with, like, the Carpenters Guild, that might actually make carpenters more likely to come and live on your land. Do you have a strong guild affiliation or business partner? I think we keep that. I think we keep that, actually. I was initially thinking delete, but I think that could be interesting. Wow, that got doubled up as well. Oh yeah, I should label this too. This is a work in progress. Oh. Okay, so we've got how risky is it for people to live there? What is the location? Is there infrastructure or not? I would say protection, but I think that's kind of dealt with risk, right? Make a skill check. Additional stat modifiers. What type of building we have. Does that in any way help? I feel like that's covered with infrastructure, right? I don't think we need that. That makes sense in townsfolk, but not here. And then, do you have a guild affiliation or business partner? Oh, right, incentives. Incentives / subsidies. Again, right, like that sounds really tedious. Like, oh, do we really want to get into government subsidies in D&D? Like, duh. But again, think about it, right? It becomes, how does that help us world build and tell story? I mean, yeah, Alendite could just be like, hey, I'm going to spend some money out of pocket to try and get more people to move to our land. Fine. Easy enough, you know, hand wave, quick role playing scene and done. But instead it could be, right, like, can Alendite convince the church to pay for that? Can Alendite convince the crown to pay for that? You know, maybe that involves going and doing a quest for one of those organizations or, you know, that sort of thing. So incentives and subsidies. So that'd probably just be like a yes gives a +2, DM's best friend, no does nothing. We might tweak the numbers later, but no is there. Now, this was set up as a D100 roll, so we might have, when we do version 2 of this, we might decide to tweak it a little bit. All these numbers, part of the reason they're so high is because it's for D100. I mean, can Alendite pay for anything out of pocket? They are pretty broke. Debt, I think. So I'm stealing debt from the townsfolk because that's like, did you take on debt to run your business? But here, that's what gives me the idea of subsidies, right? Then we have the risk profit bonus, but that's not going to translate directly to this. So I think what happens eventually is we make the roll, and then whether you succeed or fail on the roll, then there's like a D4 or something like that. And like that's how many like peasants you acquire. Something like that, right? So it's like D100 roll determines success. And degree of success or failure. D, I'll just say for now, 4 roll determines change in population. And then again, we can decide, is that individuals? Is that households? Maybe we go back to individuals, but we make it a D8 instead of a D4 or whatever. I think overall, it's not going to make sense for Alendite to have a huge population, right? I mean, there's not going to be hundreds of people living on his land. There might be dozens. So it probably will mostly be individuals, but I could see an argument for households. Or maybe that's one of the degrees of success, right? If you roll 90 or better, then it goes from individuals to households. But if you roll 10 or less, it's the same thing. Individuals, households, maybe individuals for the first what is it, 3 standard deviations? Because the first standard deviation is what, like 64%, 68%? Let's look that up really quickly. Bell curve. Standard deviation numbers. It's been a while since I've used anything like that. Normal distribution, that's what we wanted. Here we go. What is that? 68.2 technically. So I was right on that. Or I guess no standard deviations. So the middle 68% is no standard deviation. Then when you go up to 1 standard deviation, it's so much faster than I remembered. So it would be within 1 standard deviation, I guess. And then, approximately, right? Again, we can tweak the numbers. But for me writing notes for myself, it would be individuals for the first 1 standard deviation and households for the second. Because by the time you get to 2 standard deviations, right, with normally distributed numbers, which presumably rolling D100 would be normally distributed, then you've only got, what, 4.4% left? So 95.6% of data falls within 1 standard. No, within 2 standard deviations. Oh, wait, I still wrote that out wrong, though, didn't I? So it should say within 2 standard deviations. What we wanted. For individuals, maybe individuals within 2 standard deviations and households or 3+. There we go. Yeah, we'll probably tweak those numbers a little bit just because of how steep the bell curve is for normally distributed numbers, but I think that works fine for now. So is there anything else that we want from here for initial ideas before we wind down? Is there anything else anybody can think of in chat? Happy to incorporate any ideas that y'all have. We've made it a skill roll. We've included the reputation that we talked about. We have bonuses for guild affiliation and relevant business partners, potentially incentives, how developed the land is or is not, how wild or urban the location is, how risky it is for people to live there. And most of these things can be changed, right? Obviously, the location can't be changed, but like as they clear out more bad guys, then it will get less dangerous for citizens to live there. If you were a medieval peasant, is there anything else that would impact your decision to homestead on Alendite's land? I'll marinate on that for a minute before we wind it down. What do we think about trade / access to goods? Is that just covered in infrastructure, or is that a separate thing? That's the only other thing that really comes to my mind. And then I'll just leave myself a note for next time we're working on this. Is this what's the word I want? Like, does this duplicate infrastructure? Is this redundant? There we go. Completely or partially could result in combining the categories and signing bonuses. You'd have goods as a separate thing. Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards. I just want to marinate on it a little bit more. But thank you for the feedback, Shalendor. Anything else? Last call / I'll think about it again for one more second. Oh, I did think of one more thing. He doesn't give all of his money to the church. He gives like a third of his money to the church. Come on now. Is the land prepared? Is the land prepared? And again, we can clean that up a little bit next time we work on it. Like yes, +5, no, 0, and like very much no. It's -5. Again, that we may potentially decide that that's a little bit redundant with risk, but I feel like it's different, right? Like, well, if somebody's going to come and build a farm, if it's all trees and they have to come and cut all these trees down, then I'm less likely to want to come and build a farm on that land, you know? So I think we have a good list. However, if I'm a medieval peasant, what would make me want to move to Alendite's land? How risky is it? How rural is it? How prepared is the land for settling? Do I have access to infrastructure? Do I have access to trade goods? Do I have any business connections that would make me want to move there? Is my moving there being subsidized or incentivized in any way? And essentially, how impressed am I by Allendyte's celebrity? The trees are useful goods. It's true. It's true, but it's still work, right? So I feel like it's maybe it's more like 2s instead of 5s. I think this is a good rough draft for a system, though. This will probably be the focus of, yeah, and that's true. It might depend, right? If Allendyte's like, hey, you know, to use my example earlier, we're really trying to court more like woodworkers and sculptors and stuff to come and move here, then the land being not prepared would actually kind of be a bonus. Versus for the farmers. Right. So, but there's probably, if you have heavily forested land, there's probably still a lot more trees than they need to build a house, right? Like, it's still going to be more of a detriment than it is a bonus. And depends on Allendyte's infamy, right? Okay. I think this is a good rough draft. We will be back to work on this more on Wednesday, the 12th. Will be our next working stream here on YouTube. This is a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to wrapping that up. That's actually that's neat. I'm enjoying that. And I'll change this task to finalize system for attracting peasants. Indeed. Exactly. And again, right, like I was talking about earlier, some of this might seem overly tedious, but it gives an opportunity for storytelling, right? Like, how does land get cleared? You know, they go to town and try and convince people to come and do this for them. So they, you know, it's kind of turning the tables on the normal, like, player characters are receiving quests. Like, player characters can give a quest. Also, we have to remember we have 2 parties here, right? So 2 parties adventuring in our world. So potentially Allendyte's party could employ our other party of player characters. So, like, how risky is it for someone to come and move here? Well, maybe one of the ways that we make the land less risky to live on is Allendyte's party hires the other party to come and help clear their land. So now we're like, that's more of like a meta thing, right? But like now not only are we impacting our world, but we're also we're creating adventure hooks for our other party. What do you mean smite doesn't work on trees? But remember, Allendyte can't even smite right now. Poor Allendyte. He'll get there though. Well, he might get there, I guess. He's got a chance to get there. And that will be intriguing to see how it plays out. Most of your group is hired groups to make roads to your land and cut down trees to make no. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It gives us role-playing scenes, which I like. All right. One of the things I'm thinking about doing, by the way, with these streams is maybe trying to keep working Wednesday closer to the power hour, like that 60 to 90 minute range. And then when we do the Thursday streams, opening these up to be a little longer. Like we go more in depth on Thursdays, something like that. We'll see. This was our first Thursday, and I enjoyed it. So we will probably do more of this next Thursday. The reason why it's every other Thursday is on the other alternating Thursdays, I'm a player in the Murkmire campaign with Moral Woes. So otherwise I would just do Wednesdays and Thursdays. But Wednesdays and alternating Thursdays is kind of fun. And then, like I said, maybe that frees us up to try to be more on schedule with our Wednesdays and slightly longer streams on our Thursdays. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards right now. So that's it for today. One last call. If you haven't had a chance to thumbs up the video, we'd super appreciate it if you would do that for us as a way to tell YouTube that you like what we're doing and that they should show it to more people. And we're going to get out of here. Our next working stream, like what we did today, will be next Wednesday. I believe I said that was the 12th. Yeah, the 12th. And our next D&D session, I actually don't know. Both of our groups are in the scheduling phase right now. It's possible that Chronicles might be playing next Monday the 10th, but I don't know for sure yet. If you are a player or connected to a player that is in the Chronicles group, please make sure to RSVP on those. And I'll probably also be pinging Kingdom as well, because there's a chance that we might be playing on the 22nd for Kingdom. So that's it for D&D news. Next session of Kingdom will be going up on the 11th. So thank you all for being here. I'm outie because Pixie should be home soon, and we got a hotel room to go downtown and go out and get a nice meal and stay downtown by the river and have some nice views for her birthday. So thank you guys. Take care. And as always, be excellent to each other. You did indeed, Shalendor, and thank you for doing it.